ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
स्थापितं येन भूतले
स्थापितं येन भूतले
स्वयं रूप
स्वयं
ददाति सपदान्तिकं
ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं।
नमो विष्णुपादाय
नमो विष्णुपादाय
कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले
कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले
वेदान्त
श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने।
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम परायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नमामि गौरतिशे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमस्ते। सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, verse number 7, chapter 7, verse number 4, right? Yeah. Okay. It's there? Yeah. One second, I'm sharing on the Zoom. भूमिरपो नलो वायु खम्ममं बुद्धिरेव च अहंकारस्तेषु अहंकार इति यम में
अहंकार इति यं मे
भिन्ना प्रकृति अस्ततद
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरस्तथा
भूमिरापो नलो वायु
भूमिरापो नलो वायु
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च
खम मनो बुद्धिरेव च
अहंकारिति यं मे
अहंकार इति यम मे
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरस्तदा. Someone want to try?
भूमिरपो नलो वायु
भूमिरपो नलो वायुर
कामनो बुद्धिरेव च
खम मनो बुद्धिरेव च
अहंकार इति यं मे
अहंकार इति यम मे
हीन प्रकृतिरस्तधा.
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरस्तदा. Want to recite?
हाँ. भूमिरपो नलो वायु
भूमिरपो नलो वायुर
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च
हम मनो बुद्धिरेव च
अहंकारिति यं मे
अहंकार इति यम मे
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा.
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरस्यता. Anyone else wants to recite? Okay, we'll read the translation now. Someone read or I should read?
I can read.
Okay, go ahead.
Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, all together, these eight constitute my separated material energies. Purport?
Yeah.
The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord, in his different Purusha incarnations, as described in Narad Pancharatra, one of the Satvat Tantras. Vishnostu Trini Rupani Purusha. I think I
Okay.
पुरुषाख्यानि अथो विदु एकम तु महता स्रास्तिर द्वितीयं तवंड संस्थितान् तृतीयं सर्वभूतस्थं तानि ज्ञात्वा विमुच्यते. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as Mahat Tattva. The second, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, is diffused as the all pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. This material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All the activities of the material world are directed by these three Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. These Purushas are called incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities and that the living entities are the Purushas, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of material energy. According to Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of the material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredients of the material manifestation are separated energies of the Lord. Even the Brahma Jyotir, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalists, is a spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyotir as there are in the Vaikuntha Lokas. And the impersonalist accepts this Brahma Jyotir as the ultimate eternal goal.
As the opposite of temporary. Okay.
Shall I continue?
Yeah.
The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all pervasive aspect of the Kshirodakshai Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is the supreme personality of Godhead Krishna. He is a complete energetic person and he possesses different, separated, and internal energies.
Big
In the
purport, huh? Hmm.
in the material energy,
I think we'll read this later.
okay.
So this is a very beautiful purport, very beautiful verse explaining uh, Krishna and his different energies. So in this chapter, what is happening is this is about this chapter, chapter 7, describes about the knowledge of the absolute. And in this chapter, Krishna is describing. First, we hear about the glories of hearing about from Krishna. So in few verses, just 1, 2, 3 verses, you heard the glory of the knowledge about Krishna. And then now in this, from verse number 4 to next verses till 12, there will be knowledge about Krishna's energy, how Krishna is the source of material as well as spiritual energy. And then what is the knowledge of this energies? So that will be explained in this coming verses, few verses. So it's very wonderful to understand what is the energy of Krishna also. Now how Krishna energy is manifesting, that has been explained very nicely in this verse. So what all things are getting manifested here uh, in this verse? What all things are there? How many elements are there? Eight elements. And can we see all eight elements? No? How many can you feel it or can you experience it? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. We cannot experience it. It's there, but we cannot experience that thing. And mind and false ego, at least definitely we can experience it, right? Because we are like acting sometimes, so we can experience about the mind and false ego. So why it is important to know the energies of the Lord? Why is it important to know the energies of the Lord now? Like this, in this verse, if we see, Krishna is explaining about his energies. So there was this one question asked to Srila Prabhupada by one lady, actually. This Prabhupada was traveling in London, and then this lady reporter, she came and asked Srila Prabhupada. And there were many questions she was asking, and one of the questions she asked Prabhupada is that, Prabhupada, Swamiji, how is it that, Krishna is all good, right? Krishna is the absolute truth. So Krishna is all good, and then how come everything manifests from Krishna? So everything is coming from Krishna. Then how come in this world there is evil, or how come this world is very bad, or we sometimes experience bad? Is it not? Have you thought about this question? Good question, right? So what did Prabhupada tell about this thing? Prabhupada told a very grossly he has explained this answer. And this lady was very beautiful lady. So Prabhupada saw towards her, and then with a very compassionate eye, Prabhupada told her, see, you are very beautiful. You are very beautiful. But the stool which comes, is it beautiful? No. Right? So it was very gross. And everyone was dumbstruck. Why Prabhupada is telling like this? But then, Prabhupada, as soon as he told that sometimes Krishna is very beautiful. Krishna is all beautiful. But his energies might not be the same way. So that way he was explaining that Krishna's energies might be different in his in the way it exhibits actually. So sometimes we understand that whatever is coming from Krishna will be always be good, but then it's not like always it will be good. It will be, sometimes it has an evil effect also. So this is something which Prabhupada was telling to explain that his energies are different from Krishna. Like Prabhupada gave one more example in this regard, that he was giving an example in his one of the verses. He was explaining how Krishna and his energies are different. Like if you see, when we hear the recordings of Prabhupada, how many of you have heard the kirtans of Prabhupada? Hare Krishna Kirtan, or you might have heard some recordings. When you hear the recording of a person, that means that you are reminded of whom? You're reminded of that person, right? When we hear the recording of that person, like we hear the recording of the Hare Krishna Kirtan sung by Prabhupada, or the lecture which Prabhupada gave, when we hear that, what is happening is, whom are we reminded of? Prabhupada. So same way, that is his energy through his sound, which has been recorded, and that recording is available. So when you come in touch with that, that is it different from Prabhupada? Yes or no? Is it different? In which way? That's what I'm asking. Is it different or not? First of all, the sound vibration is different from Prabhupada. No, no, right? But it has come from Prabhupada, so it's not different. But at the same time, it's different also? Is it not? His sound vibration has been recorded. That means it's different also. So Krishna's energy, he was telling, Krishna is one, but his energies which come out from him are different also. So it's like Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva. This philosophy is called Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva. Simultaneously, it's one, and at the same time, it's different. So Krishna's energies also are same with him, but at the same time, they're different from him. When it comes in touch with material things, then it's different. It's easy. Eh, is it understandable? Yeah, everyone is able to understand, right? It's easy to understand. So it's very easy to understand that Krishna and his energies are different, and at the same time they are same because it's coming from Krishna. Like sometimes we go to this also. This Prabhupada gives one more examples. Like we go to uh, uh, a, if we go to a company, the company is owned by, suppose, Ratan Tata. So will you be able to directly meet Ratan Tata there in the company? No, but you can meet a lot of employees who are working for Ratan Tata. Whoever is working there is a representative of Ratan Tata, right? So he's working for him. That means he is, in one way, he's representing Ratan Tata, but at the same time, he's not Ratan Tata. So it's different also, and at the same time, he's the energy in one way. That is the energy of Ratan Tata. Yes. uh, this is not about karma. This is about the energy of the Lord, actually, what we are speaking. Karma is there, definitely. There are different types of karma which act on a living entity, and because of that thing, it's like different. The people act according to different modes and according to different activities or karma they do. So it's definitely different than what is been exhibited. No, Krishna not inherits. Krishna has these energies. Krishna is the manifestation. He manifests all these energies. So he's not inherit. He has those energies, but he's different from his energies. That's what we are trying to prove. We are trying to say these energies: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Energies of Krishna are separate from Krishna. If we understand this becomes very clear understanding that when we come in touch with this energy, what happens to us? That is the thing. If we are understanding the Bhagavad Gita message, now in the purport, Prabhupada clearly writes. What does he write in the second paragraph? He writes very clearly. You can show that thing. That the one of the energies of the Lord. So if we don't understand this aspect, that this material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. But see, for that we need to understand that Krishna and his energies are different. And then when we understand this thing, all the activities of the material world are directed by the three Vishnus. That is again one more explanation what we need to explain. But this is very important to understand. This material world is a temporary manifestation. This is very temporary actually. The eternal manifestation is the spiritual world. And we are supposed to be in the spiritual world. But because of our wrong desires and wrong choices, what we have made in the past, that we are in this material world, which is a temporary manifestation. This material world, our bodies are made up of how many elements? Five elements. What? Five or eight? How many say five? Okay. Okay, now we are coming to something. Gross body is five. Five, which are the five elements? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. This is like the gross body. It's very easy to understand. This is like the shirt is made up of thread and other things. That is very gross. But there is a subtle body which is there. Subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So this is the subtle body which is made up of. But who is residing in the subtle body? Soul. So the soul is there, and the soul is covered with a gross body, and then there is a covering of no, subtle body, and there is a covering of gross body. So it's like that. So the soul is covered with these aspects. So this understanding is there, then we can definitely understand that we are, our bodies are very very temporary, because this material world is temporary body, is a temporary place, and our body, which is made up of these material elements, which is also very very temporary, like earth, water, fire, air, ether. We tell now, when we take birth, we are, we get birth, and then what we brought nothing. While we go, we will leave. धरती से आया था तू, धरती में मिट जाएगा, बोलते हैं ना, we tell that thing, right? So whatever, we are getting, our body is made up of these five gross elements, and it's all these elements actually will again go back in the mahatattva, or to in the energies of the Lord. By the time when we go back, when we die, all these elements actually go back. When we die, what happens to our bodies? They are either burnt or cremated, or what else? They become the stool of the other living entities. It's told in one of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam that what happens when a body is dead. Either it is burnt, it is eaten by fire, or it is eaten by the living entities, different living entities like ants and other things. Or sometimes, if it is lying around, the vultures and others, they eat and they form stool. Either it becomes dust, it becomes fire, or it becomes stool. Either of one. That happens to the dead body. So our body will definitely become like that. So it's over a period, and that's temporarily manifestation of the body. Till the time we are living in the body, who are we now? The soul, the spirit soul. That understanding has to be very clear. When we come to Bhagavad Gita class, the basic understanding is has to be very clear, that we as a spirit soul are living in this body. And when we are living in this body, that means this body is a very material manifestation of, it's made up of material elements, and this material body will definitely come to an end, eventually. But our goal or our aim is what? To leave this material world and go back to spiritual world. That is the aim of a spiritual practitioner, or a devotee is always thinking of going to the eternal place. So if that understanding is not there, then our reading of Bhagavad Gita will make no sense. Understanding reading here and there will not make sense. So again, generally one who knows the science of, you can come there now. Generally, one who knows the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for enjoyment of the living entity, and that the living entities are Purshas, the cause, controller, and the enjoyer of the material energy. So this is again a strong, wrong, what do you call, notion, or what do you call, wrong mentality every living entity carries. What does it carry? He carries that one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world, the world which we are living, is nothing but a place of enjoyment for me. That's it. There is this philosophy called, Prabhupada tells, eat, drink, and be merry philosophy. Every living entity outside in the material world is looking for this thing only. You just observe many people around who are living. Their philosophy is this only, that they want to eat very nicely, they want to drink very nicely, and they want to enjoy very nicely. That is the philosophy. Most of the people around in the material world have this philosophy only. Yes. But in the material world, you also have pain and suffering. Yeah, pain and suffering, that is part and parcel of the material world. That's why people are not able to enjoy it to the full extent. If that is not there, then people would have been like crazy in one way. They would have been like, enjoying the world like anything. But there is pain and pleasure, and that's why it causes like very minimal, what do you call it, it causes an effect that they are not the enjoyers, neither they are the controllers. There sometimes the situations out are not in the control at all. So this is what actually Gita is explaining, that you are not the cause, you are not the controller, neither the enjoyer in the material world. We see many times, outside, when we see the people around, they don't have any aim in the life. Aim of the life, most of the people outside, what is the aim of the life? Is to earn nice money, is it not? Have nice home, have a nice apartment in Manhattan, at least having an apartment in one of the floors, 115th floor of one of the buildings. That is one of the goals. And have a Tesla just waiting at a parking. And the parking, if it is available for free, that is one of the success of living in New York. But you have to live in New Jersey to have parking free, at your home. So most of the people have that goal, and then after that, you to have a very beautiful wife, and to have nice kids, and to, again, the life goes on like that only. Most of the time it's all about increasing the standard of the living. That is what life goes on, that I should just keep increasing my standard of living. If I'm coming from India, most of us are coming from India. So our thing is, we have taken a lot of loans for our studies and other things like that. Is it? So, and then what we want to do, we want to get a nice job. As soon as we get our MS complete, our studies complete, we want to get a nice job. And as soon as we get a job, we clear the loan, and then make sure we have a lot of savings. We purchase a home, we purchase a car, and then make sure, either we live here or go back to India and start a business. That is what is the goal of most of the people around. Is it not? Am I telling something which is not there? Most of them have this thing only in the mind. Is that the goal of the life? No, that is not the goal. When we think that we are in this we are this material body, then we have all these material aspirations. But when we think that we are not this material body, we are spirit soul, then the aspiration is different. Then the aspiration is that, let me practice bhakti, let me, develop some relationship with the supreme lord. Let me develop, some taste for understanding the lord, the message of the lord. That is the aspiration. When we understand that we are spirit soul living in this body, and our needs are different from the bodily needs. Because bodily needs, definitely we say that we don't need money. You need money to live in this world. You need place to live in this world. You need to eat every day. But that doesn't mean that is only our goal. That is not the goal actually when we are coming in this world. So it's very important for us to understand that if we are spirit soul, if we understand the energies of the Lord, then we come to this conclusion. That's why this verse is very beautiful verse in one way, to understand that how it is very, very important for us to understand the energies of the Lord. We are different from this body, and we have, like, we are the spirit soul which are living in the body. And our goal is to go back to the spiritual world, where we can serve very nicely our Lord actually. Very lovingly we can have very wonderful relationships. Every living entity is hankering for this happiness. Everyone is hankering. And what is that happiness? What is the living entity is hankering for? Is the hankering of relationship with the Lord. Everyone wants to have very wonderful relationship. Lord is ready to provide that. It's not that Lord is not ready to provide. In fact, in scriptures it is told every living entity has an individual relationship with the Lord, with Krishna. And everyone can has his own rasa with the Lord. So he can get that rasa with the Lord. He can experience that happiness with the Lord. But it all depends on how you revive that relationship, how you work on that relationship with the Lord. So, that is very important. Yes, you had something?
Yeah, I was asking that the same people, uh, like who in the material world, like they are running behind a lot of things for the happiness, but when they are not able to find the happiness in that world, they change the path, and they come to the spiritual world, and
Mm.
again they are, you know, running behind the same thing, happiness. Just the difference is that earlier they were running behind the material world,
Mm.
now they are in a spiritual path, now they are behind the Lord himself. So is there something, which is kind of missing, because the motive of the man is same in both the world?
Yes. The thing is, as you told now, every living entity is looking for something. If you read this beautiful book, On the Way to Krishna, Prabhupada writes in the first paragraph that every living entity is looking for happiness. And every living entity is looking for happiness. But why is he looking for happiness? He gives the example that, can a fish be happy if it is removed from the water? Yes or no?
It won't survive.
It won't survive also, and it won't be happy.
Yeah.
Same way, Prabhupada writes that every living entity can be happy, but when and how, he should know that. When he establishes his relationship with Krishna, he can be happy. Now, if we understand the aspect where that why is everyone looking for happiness, the nature of the soul, if we understand, now we understood the nature of the body, that the body is very temporary, it is going to die eventually. It is going to die. But nature of the soul, now if you understand, soul's nature is what? What is soul nature? Satchitananda. Its nature is Sat Chit Ananda. It's full of eternal. Sat is truth. Chit, it's full of, uh,
Life.
eh, what is it? Knowledge. Yeah, Chit is consciousness. He's full of consciousness, he's full of knowledge, and is Ananda. His nature is of ananda actually. He wants to be happy. That is why every living entity is looking for that thing, happiness. He's looking for either material happiness or spiritual happiness. He doesn't understand. Most of the people don't understand that they want to be happy all the time, but they don't know how to be happy. So we tell, in because we have material body, our capacities are also very limited. In one way, we want to eat very nice food. How much can we eat compared to elephant? Can we eat that quantity? If a chapan bhog is brought in front of you, how many items can we eat? We can eat only 10, 15 items to our full extent. That because our bodies are limited. And sometimes as soon as the body is limited, someone's, if you have eaten so much and then someone brings you a rasmalai, will you be able to enjoy that rasmalai? Bole prabhu bas abhi to nahi kha sakta. Immediately you will tell, I cannot eat after immediate. You have a feast here, and then if someone comes and gives you, Prabhu, please have a pizza, one more piece of pizza. At least pizza you eat, I think. But if one more plate of prasadi, he tells, Prabhu, let's have one more round. Will you be able to eat? No, because our bodies are very, very limited actually. And our senses are very, very limited. We cannot enjoy for a long time. Our senses are very, very weak in one way. How much can we see? Our eyes pain after seeing, after working on the laptop for some time, or after seeing the television. But our desire, will it die? We want to see most beautiful things in the world. How much we want to hear. When we want to hear like anything. We want to hear the best musics, or best sound vibration. But our ears also, they have a little capacity. We have very, very small capacity in one way. Our senses are imperfect in one way. We cannot enjoy to the full extent, but the soul wants to enjoy to the full extent. So when we have a spiritual body, we can enjoy in a full extent. That's why we tell, you come here and experience that spiritual enjoyment. When you experience your relationship with Krishna, the happiness you derive here is spiritual. And the happiness you derive outside is very, very material, very limited. And it's always coming, the happiness outside always comes with suffering. Is it not? The moment you eat more, what happens? Your stomachs, starts paining after some time. You may, that is the capacity. If you drink so much, then you start, want to be intoxicated like anything, but you cannot be intoxicated also. That has side effects again. So in one way, you want to enjoy with the material body, but it has got drawbacks that you cannot enjoy to the perfection also. So that way, the soul hankering is that he wants to be happy. That's why everyone is looking for happiness. But one should know how one can enjoy. By having that relationship with Krishna, one can enjoy to the fullest extent. And that is what everyone is looking for. That is the highest happiness what one can derive. And that happiness is like the best happiness one can receive. When you dance in front of Krishna, how much happy you feel. When you chant the holy name, when you feel that connection with the Lord, the happiness you derive is something which is amazing. Which I cannot tell you. I can always tell that thing, but you need to experience that thing. And like I can tell you the how Prabhupada gives this example again. We want the example of gulab jamun. That gulab jamun is very tasty, or gulab jamun is very, very juicy and everything like that. I can describe how the gulab jamun is made, how the gulab jamun is soaked in sugar syrup. It's hot, it's very, very soft. As soon as you put in the mouth, it will be, it will blast and everything like that. But will that give happiness to you just by describing? No. What you have to do? You have to experience it. You have spiritual life also. I can tell you that how much happiness we can derive by practicing spiritual life. But one has to experience that thing. And experiencing it's very easy. It's not like a big science that we cannot experience happiness when we are practicing spiritual life. It all depends on how sincerely you're practicing the process of bhakti. And what does bhakti means? What does bhakti means? It's all about doing this, chanting the name of the Lord, dancing, doing any activity for the pleasure of the Lord. That is bhakti. If you do any activity, you're chanting the name of the Lord, if you do all activities of yours with for the pleasure of the Lord, that becomes bhakti actually. So it all depends on how you conceive it. Okay, is that correct? So where were we? Generally, one who doesn't know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this world is for the enjoyment of the living entities, and that the living entities are Purushas, the causes, controller, and the enjoyer of the material energy. Okay, there is this thing. Okay, so let us discuss little more aspect about these three Vishnus, what has been explained in this shloka. Okay, so
Prabhuji, can you share screen?
oh yeah. Thank you. And this is just the purport, but still I can share it. Yeah. So in this verse, Prabhupada is telling that for material creation, can come there under the verse. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. The first one is Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as Mahatattva. So now we'll just go little into the description of this universe, how it takes place. Where is this slide? You remember that? There in Utkarsh. You, if you find it, you can search and let me know. Then I can show that slide also. So the first one is Mahavishnu creates the total material energy known as Mahatattva. The second is Garbhodaksha Vishnu enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. So Mahavishnu is lying on the causal ocean, and from his body, what comes is all different universes. They come from each pore of the body, at different universes which come, and in each universe there is this, each universe has one more Vishnu called Shirodakshay Vishnu. So Shirodakshay Vishnu is residing in, no, that is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Garbhodakshay Vishnu is in the universe, each universe, and that Vishnu is again lying down in the ocean, and from his navel comes Brahma, and there is third Vishnu, that is that is Shirodakshay Vishnu. Shirodakshay Vishnu is residing in between each and every atom. Now we tell now the super soul is residing in each of one's heart. Who is that super soul? That is Shirodakshay Vishnu. Shirodakshay Vishnu is there. That's why we can understand very easily, that as we tell now, that what do we tell, that we want, we can understand that there is connection between the Lord and us, or when we see that there is some understanding between the two living entities. Why? Because the Shirodakshay Vishnu from one heart is able to connect to the Shirodakshay Vishnu of other heart. So that connection is there because the Lord is there in the heart, each other's heart. So yes. Yes. No, it's there between every atom. That's what it is telling here. That the Lord is there within every atom actually. It's there. It's just not within the everyone's heart, but it's there in every atom. That's why we see now the atom has called what is called, it has called proton, electron, and one more is neutron. And that gives the energy, right? Neutron is the one which gives energy. So we can see that science has been explained very nicely actually. That the Lord is residing. That's why we can understand this aspect. Hmm. What is Krishna resides there? Uh, yeah, there are many things actually spoken, but as far as Prabhupada tells that Krishna resides, or the soul resides within the heart actually, and this is the same place where the Lord as Paramatma also residing. Both of them are residing very side by side in one way. Which one is there? You can just course number 7. 1 second. I can go there immediately. You can share it on this one. I can share it there. Sure. Course number 7. Yeah, 7. First session. Oh yeah, the Vedic verses. Which session? Creation of universe. That one. Okay. Yes. Which one you are showing? You tell me which slide number. Yeah, I'm just coming. Start. I think 27. not getting downloaded here. Which slide that is? 27. Okay. Yeah. One. Oh, we can go from this one now. 24. Yeah. Yat yat vibhutam sattvam. I'm not showing able to get here, so I'm just showing that. Vibhutam sattvam. Recite, recite.
यद्विभूतिमत् सत्त्वं
श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा
श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा
तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं
तत्तदेवावगच्छत्तं
मम तेजं च सम्भवम्
मम तेजं स संभवम्. Okay.
Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Abhagir 10.41.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Krishna is the source of all Vishnus. Shirodaksha Vishnu, the third Vishnu, lays in the Shweta in the Milk Ocean beyond the 14 planetary system. Yes, go ahead. I'm coming now here.
Should I play the
Oh, the creation.
video?
No, no, no. Go ahead. Creation.
Okay. This one?
Yeah. Yes. From Krishna comes Mahavishnu, who is the source of all universes. So he's lying in casual ocean. Where is this? What is the slide number?
This is slide number 27. Yeah, 27.
Oh, for me, it's showing different. Okay. Okay. Why am I showing? Okay. So go ahead. Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu comes Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and from Garbhodakshay Vishnu he is residing in every universe, and from Garbhodakshay Vishnu is Shirodakshay Vishnu, who is the super soul in the heart of every living entity. So this is what Prabhupada is writing, that this material world is made up of these things. So go ahead. Yeah, this is the shloka what is there in the this one also. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. So now what is happening here? This is very beautiful understanding of the shloka. I can show it online here also. Zoom I have not shared it. So. Okay. What is it? The 14 planetary system consists of upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Right. Let's do it faster. So Brahmaji is residing on the. He's coming from the navel of which Vishnu?
universe.
Huh? Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Okay, from Garbhodakshay Vishnu. He's coming. And where is this Garbhodakshay Vishnu situated? In every universe. Where is he residing? In the ocean, Milk Ocean. Yes, he's residing in the Milk Ocean, and from his navel is coming the Brahma, and from on the stem of the Brahma, there is Bhuloka. There is this all 7 planetary systems, which are first is Bhuloka, if we tell, and then there are 7 planetary systems above the Bhuloka and 7 planetary systems below the Bhuloka. I'm not getting that thing here. Correct? Go ahead. And from now you see what happened. These are the lokas actually: Satyalok, Tapalok, Janalok, Mahalok, Sarvalok, and Bhulok, Bhuvalok, and Bhuvalok. And then comes Atal, Sutal, Mahatal, Talatal, Rasatal, and Patal. So these are the things which are residing actually. And then go ahead. Let's see ahead. This is all completely just a manifestation of our universe. and millions of such universes are coming from the energy of Mahavishnu. I think I'm not sharing the wrong screen. Sorry, I'm not able to find the right PPT for you to share it online. But this is what I got the other PPT. I think is the same PPT. It's not there.
Where did you
I took it from this one only. Utkarsha one.
Oh, you're taking from two.
Huh?
I'm taking from one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mahavishnu is the creator of
Mm.
the universe.
Yes.
Right? So, and then he's also, I guess, becomes Krishna.
Yes. He's coming from Krishna.
So when we chant Hare Krishna, how come we don't chant like Vishnu? And since he is the creator, and then comes Vishnu.
No. So when we chant the name of Krishna, what happens is we are chanting. We are it's like in the name of Krishna contains all the Vishnu's names also. Like there is one shloka describing that all. When we chant the name of one name of Ram, what happens? Names of Vishnu are recited in by just chanting one name of Ram. And by just chanting, if you chant one name of Krishna, it's equivalent to chanting three names of Ram. So, all the names of Krishna or all the names of Vishnu are there in the name Krishna also. So, when you are chanting Krishna, you are addressing Vishnu also. Okay. So, this is there. This was about the creation. I have got the PPT. I have to show it for. Okay, let's go to our verse now. Come back to our verse. Okay, the material world is a temporary manifestation, and then what has happened? The ingredients of this material world are manifested as separate energies of the Lord. Okay, now even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalist, is a separate spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. Now, where is Brahma Jyoti? Can you show Brahma Jyoti here? Shubhu? Yeah, it's in the PPT. Stuck? Sorry, we are. Hmm. No, you have it in the PPT, right? Show it in PPT. Slide number, I think it's not there. Where we have this complete. Okay, you come to the next PPT, the next one, the last one. Okay, we'll come from Krishna to answer your question. We'll come from Krishna and see how it is going ahead.
This flow chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is very interesting slide to understand about how everything is manifesting from Krishna. Krishna is the supreme cause. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. From him comes Balram. He expands into Balram, and from Balram comes Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. So this is first expansion of the Lord. It's first expansion from Balram, and from Balram, Sankarshan comes Narayan. From Narayan comes there is another quadruple expansion of the Lord, that is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. And from there, Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu. And from Mahavishnu comes Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, it's Shirodaksha Vishnu. So this is like complete understanding of the thing what we are telling. So when we chant the name of Krishna, it includes everything. Okay.
Does it also include like Lakshmi, Ganesha?
Yeah, because everything is the energy of the Lord. So it includes all the energies of the Lord are been reciting in the name of Krishna. Okay, we come to the next slide. That you're telling about this thing, how source of everything is Krishna. That is what is in there in the next slide. You can see, Kartike, Hanuman, Ganesh, Durga, Shiva, Brahma, Surya, Saraswati. are nothing but all different sources of the Lord, and everything is manifesting. Krishna is manifesting everything through his energies. And Brahma's meditation, he's meditating for hundreds of years, and he's meditating, and then he's within the heart. Next slide. He is receiving the message that how he can do tapasya for the Lord, and he's getting this beautiful form of the Lord. Okay, we'll stop here, and then we'll see what's there in the purport. Now we come to the purport. Yes, the ingredients of the material manifestations are separate energies of the Lord, even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal. The Brahma Jyoti is nothing but the effulgence of the Supreme Lord, which is coming out. And most of the people, they want to have this thing. How many of you have heard that, I want moksha? Most of the people outside, they want to have moksha. What is moksha means? Liberation. Liberation from what? Material world. And where do you want to go? No rebirth. Okay, no rebirth. Where do you want to go? Not you. Into? Okay. Brahman. Brahman. You want to go and merge in the Brahman. That is moksha, right? So, is that good? No? Why? Connect and okay. Hmm. Yes, actually, that is the thing, that a devotee never aspires for moksha, or becoming one with the Lord. Devotee always aspire that he wants to go and serve the Lord. He also wants liberation from this world. That doesn't mean he wants to merge in the Supreme Lord. He doesn't want to merge in the Supreme Lord. And that merging in the Supreme Lord is what? That is called Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is the effulgence which is coming out from the Supreme Lord, Krishna. That effulgence is so bright that that is the place where all the living entities who are aspiring to merge in the Lord, that is the place they go and just reside in the light of the Lord, the effulgence of the Lord. So that is moksha for most of them. And what happens in moksha? What happens is there is nothing there to do, and you feel so happy that you have nothing there to do. But as a spirit soul, you are very, very active. You want to serve. The nature of the spirit soul is that he's very active and he wants to serve. Like we see, every living entity wants to serve. Is it not? We love to serve. We love to serve our parents. Is it not? When our parents, Radhesham Prabhu gives this very beautiful example every time. When you go to airport to receive your mother or father, what do you do first thing? Is take their bags actually. Why do you want to take the bags? Because you have a relationship with them, you want to serve them. So that nature, but automatically it comes. When you love someone, when you meet someone whom you love, you want to serve that person. So that attitude of service is there for the spirit soul. So if you want to go and merge in the Brahman, where there is nothing to do there, there is nothing to do there. There's just like light, and you are just merging yourself as a spirit soul. What happens? You lose an opportunity to serve, and you cannot live there for eternally. Actually, even though you go for a very long time to live there, but you cannot live there for eternally. Again, you come back to this material world, and then you want to do something there, something here. So that is the drawback of getting moksha. But moksha means you get liberated from this world for some time, but again you come back to this world because your habit of doing something is there. Your nature of doing something is there as a spirit soul. So we want to go and do something. We want to go and serve. But whom should we serve? Is the Supreme Lord Krishna. That gives great amount of joy actually just by serving. So that if we want someone can come, then Brahma Jyoti there is no point of. That's why what Prabhupada is telling. Even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalist. Impersonalist means they want to become one with the Lord. They want to become Lord. But for a devotee, he's never aspiring to become one with the Lord. He's always aspiring to become the servant of the Lord, serve the Lord, the spiritual sky. Because there are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyoti, as in the Vaikuntha Lokas, the impersonalists accept the Brahma Jyoti as the opposite of the temporary material world. They accept that we don't want to go into the Vaikuntha Lokas, but we just want to go into the Brahma Jyoti. That is the aspirations of Prabhupada tells, that is like impersonalists or Mayavadis. They want to go and become one with the Lord. We don't want. We are not aspiring for that thing. We are aspiring to be, yes. Yeah, it's possible actually. In this Kali Yuga, actually, it's very very difficult because we cannot perfect that. We cannot perfect that art. In the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is told how a yogi is supposed to leave his body. He has to focus his sadhana, pranayam, all this Ashtanga Yoga very seriously. And now is not the time that where we can practice Ashtanga Yoga seriously also. Our bodies are not capable of doing Ashtanga Yoga also. And to find a quiet place, nowadays, can you find a quiet place? Even in the forest, if you go, you cannot find a quiet place. And he's very fearless. But as soon as we hear the roaring of a lion, immediately there is fear in the heart. What you will do? Immediately you come back and take shelter of your home or someone. So it's very important that Ashtanga Yoga now is not able. We cannot practice it. But what we can practice is we can practice Bhakti Yoga. That's why in Kali Yuga, the best process of practicing is practicing Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga is very, very simple actually. Just chanting the name of the Lord, and we can make our life perfect actually. We can achieve what people used to achieve in Satyuga by doing thousands of years of austerities, or doing big, big yajnas in Treta Yuga, or doing deity worship in Dwapar Yuga, elaborate deity worship. That same result can be achieved just by chanting the names of the Lord. It's so easy, and it's so very easily available, and there are not even hard and fast rules for chanting. There is no hard and fast rule. You can chant the name of the Lord anywhere and everywhere. If you just make this habit of chanting the name of the Lord every day, it's on your tongue. If the name of the Lord is coming, that's it. Your life can be perfected actually. So that is what has been very important to understand, that this material world is a very temporary place, and we need to perfect our life just by chanting the name of the Lord. So the last thing we'll end after this. The Paramatma manifestation is also the temporary, all pervasive aspect of Shirodaksha Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation. Okay. I think we should read the last paragraph what we left. Yes, and then we will end here. Someone can read this thing. Please read the last paragraph.
In the material energy from here.
Yeah.
In the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8, as above mentioned. Out of these, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are called the five gigantic creations or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical, sound, touch, form, taste, and
Yes.
smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. But the other 3 items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by materialists. Philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahatattva. Therefore, from the eight separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya, aesthetic philosophy. They are,
Hmm.
they are originally offshoots from Krishna energies and are separated from him. But aesthetic
Atheistic.
theistic Sankhya philosopher with a poor fund of knowledge do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation
Manifestation.
of external energy of Krishna, as it is described in Bhagavad Gita.
So, what is this Sankhya philosophy? Sankhya philosophy is to understand that there are different elements. Now, we just came across these 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, false ego, and mind, intelligence, and false ego. But if we just come to this understanding, Prabhupada tells very clearly how this Sankhya philosophy consists of 24 elements. Now, what are the 24 elements? Please be little attentive in the next few minutes. I'll just try to explain this thing. It's like, Prabhupada tells very clearly material. These so 10 elements, these are 8 elements, and these 8 elements, like, comprise of again, if we tell there are five working senses and five sense objects, that five sense objects of the five senses are, earth, water, fire, air, ether are there. So they are their five sense objects are physical touch, physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. These are five. And then there are five working senses and five working senses with this thing, like eyes, ear, nose, tongue, and skin. So these are like five working senses what are there. And then these five working senses have, how many are over now? 18. Five sense objects are over, five working senses are over. Now there are more. How many? Physical sound, 6. Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu. So, and the earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, five gross, five working senses, and five, sorry, I'm getting something. Five working senses. Knowledge acquiring senses and working senses. So these are total 10 senses. So 10 plus 8 is 18, plus 5 more are this form, sound, touch, and taste and smell. And then everything, when it is manifested, and it is Mahatattva. When everything is manifested, it is Mahatattva. And the last element is the soul. So that is all complete understanding is Sankhya philosophy. When you understand each element separately, that is called Sankhya philosophy. That is what has been explained in that purport. Sankhya philosophy, where, and most of the time material science just deals with these five elements, actually 5 to 8 elements, and they don't think about the other elements. Okay, is there any questions or reflections before we, should we go to the next verse or should we end here? What do you think? We can go, right? Okay, then we'll go. Any questions or reflections for this thing? Okay, next. Can we recite? Is it there? अपार्यम् इतस्ते अन्यम् इतस्तन्यम् प्रकृतिं विद्यं प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतं महाभावो ययादं ध्रायते जगत् ययादं ध्रायते जगत्. One of you want to recite this verse?
अपरम् इतस्त्वन्यम्
अपरम् इतस्तमन्यम्
प्रकृतिं विधि मे पराम्
प्रकृतिं विधि मे परां
जीवभूतां महाबाहो
जीवभूतामयभावो
वेदं धार्यते जगत्
वेदं धार्यते जगत्. Okay, please read the translation.
Who has mic?
Beside these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature.
Yes.
Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature of the Supreme Lord. The energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross and subtle, are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord, and it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence.
Yeah, this is very wonderful to understand that the material energy, even though we tell that the energy of the Lord is there, but without the superior energy or without the living entities touch, these energies have no value in one way. With if the material energy, like earth, water, fire, air, ether, if there is no superior energy or the spirit soul is not there, then there is no value to these energies actually. So there is always the Lord is there behind these energies. So when outside people, most of the people, they also understand the energy of the Lord, but they want to just understand the material energy of the Lord, thinking that this, like you heard this philosophy that people just want to be in the nature. They feel good in the nature, or they want to just meditate on the light, thinking that just by meditating on the light there'll be perfection in the heart. So all these philosophies what they manifest is just nothing but that they want to study the nature of the energy of the Lord, and they feel great energy because they are coming in touch with the energy of the Lord. They feel there is some transformation in the heart. They feel some experience that when they come in touch with that energy, and they feel, oh, I'm feeling some experience. How many of you have heard some of the experiences of the people around? We meet here, no? That just by meditating on the light, I could see that as the light is entering in my heart. I've seen that, people tell that thing, or when we sit in the nature, that I'm feeling great amount of bliss just by meditating or seeing the nature. So these things are nothing but you're trying to study the energy of the Lord. But if you just study the energy of the Lord, Prabhupada tells there is no point actually studying the energy of the Lord without understanding that there is a person behind that energy. So if you understand the person behind that energy, it becomes very, very easy. That is what Prabhupada is telling. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity, or the energy which controls the energetic. Therefore, the Lord is always the controller actually. The Lord is the controller. They never act, they are never equally powerful and what is that?
As intelligent, as
As
unintelligent.
no, energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful as unintelligent men think. Yeah, go ahead. Some Sachin, you can read this thing. Mm.
They are never
Mm. Mm.
they are never equally powerful as unintelligent men
Men
think.
think that
The
is
distinction between the living entities and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.87.30 as follows.
okay.
Aparimita dhruvastanu yadi.
Yes.
I don't know how what is a
Okay, yeah, that's
meter.
good. Apirita durvastano brita yadi
Sarvagatas
sarvagatas taranina shayanti
Shashyati.
nimo ध्रुवस् नेत्र अर्थ अजानि च यन्मया मयं तद् अविमुच निरन्तर भवेत् स्वयं अनुजयत्तं यत् आत्मनं मता दुष्टतया.
O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all pervading like you, then they would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails surrender by the living entities to your control, and that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position, in that
Oh,
constitutional position only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monistic theory that God and living entities are equal in all respects are actually guided by faulty and polluted opinion.
yes,
The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. These living entities are his superior energy because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme, but they are never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy matter, the superior energy, the living entity, forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence.
yes,
This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity.
yes,
But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains a stage called mukti or liberation.
action, yes,
The false ego, under the influence of material illusion, thinks, I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas,
yes,
including
including
the
the conception
conception
of
of his becoming one in all
spiritual spirit.
respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that the Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the multi energies of Krishna. And when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated.
Easy to understand, right? Prabhupada writes very clearly and very profound that the thing why this material world is created, or why this universe is created in one way. Very easy to understand. If you just read it very, very nicely, you can very easily understand. The forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity. Because of the forgetfulness, this is like very wonderful understanding. Today morning also we were discussing in the Srimad Bhagavatam. What does this material nature does, or the energy of the Lord does, is when this conditioned soul, the conditioned soul by nature is superior to the material nature. The soul is superior to the matter, but then it is coming under the matter. And what does this matter does, or what does this material energy does? It does two things. What is that? It covers the living entity, and then it punishes the living entity by identifying with the matter. That's why it's like an illusion for a living entity that he is a spirit soul. He cannot identify that he is a spirit soul, because of the energy, the material energy is covering that living entity. And the moment that energy is withdrawn, or we come out of that energy, then what happens is we really establish, we understand that we are spirit soul living in this material body. And the nature of the spirit soul is that he wants to establish his relationship with the Lord, and he wants to come in touch with the supreme Lord, actually supreme energy. So that is very wonderful to understand. And then what happens, because under the illusion, they think this is my body, this is my thing, and then everything comes in my picture. This is my laptop, this is my watch, this is my phone, this is my car, my relatives, my father, my husband, my wife, my children. Everything happens from there because of misidentification. And this is one of the energies, the material energy which is covering it. Because the nature of the energy is like that, it will cover all the conditioned souls. But to overcome that condition, we take shelter of the supreme Lord, and then we can easily overcome that thing. So this is very interesting to understand that this is Gita confirms. Hare Krishna. The forgetfulness is due to the influence of the matter upon the living entity. The supreme Lord, okay, there is one more beautiful sentence what we can discuss for some time. The supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all the living entities are controlled by him. But what happens, because of our misidentifying with the body, we sometimes think that we are full in control of our body, or the surroundings, or the things which are there are under my control, and we try to imitate the Lord by trying to become the controller. Prabhupada writes it in many purports, actually, that the disease of a conditioned soul is what? Lording over the material energy. Most of the purports you read of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes it very clearly. The disease of the conditioned soul is that he wants to lord it over the material nature. Lord it over material nature means, if I am the lord of this place, that means everything is under my control. I am the controller. And we think we are the controller, but is everything under our control? Even our bodies are not in our control. What to speak of other things? Our bodies are not in control. So it's very wonderful to understand that because of this disease, we are suffering in this material world. The moment we realize that we are not the controllers, we are dependent on the mercy of the Lord, everything is controlled by the supreme Lord, our life becomes very, very simple, actually. Our life becomes very, very sublime, joyful life. Sometimes now we are in a position, now most of the people, because of the situation outside, they are not finding jobs. How many of you have jobs here? I'll be very happy. How many don't have? Oh my God, few don't have. You just ask these devotees who don't have job, what is the condition of their mind state? They're just waiting, when will I get a job? They're depending on the Lord, actually. They think, they're just praying that, when will I get a job? Is everything under their control? No, it's all under the control of the Lord, actually. And if it depends, okay, if Lord gives me that thing, I'm readily accepting that thing. If Lord doesn't give me, tomorrow if I want to go back to India, I'll definitely accept that thing. So if we think we are the controller of the situation, if we think we are the controller of the place, or our body, then we'll be put into greater distress. We'll be in greater anxiety than accepting that the Lord is in the control. And Lord will definitely take care of us. If we are practicing bhakti, then Lord will definitely take care of us. The Lord is taking care of each and every living entity. What to speak of his devotees? Even the ant doesn't sleep hungry. No, even the food is provided to the ant. There's so many ants. For them, the food is provided. Even to the elephants, the food is provided. What to speak of human beings? They also can very easily, Lord will definitely take care of these entities also. So it's possible. So what to speak of devotees who are practicing spiritual life, or trying to please the Lord. So Lord will definitely take care. But we should have that faith that Lord will definitely take care. If we don't have faith, we have our own plan towards the Lord. Bole, Lord, I have this desire. Please fulfill this desire. Please fulfill. Then it will never happen. Whatever plan the Lord has, it that will be fulfilled. We just accept that thing and then we fulfill that thing. Okay. Uh, yes. Is there anything we can discuss more? Any questions or any comments before we stop now? It's 8:15, and we can chant one round now, and then yes,
Prabhu, I have a question.
yeah.
What you explained what is the purpose of spiritual body? Can you also explain what is the purpose of subtle body?
Oh, I have explained subtle body is like the body which we have got actually, which we get through the material. We have got this subtle body as well as material body, gross body. But the subtle body has a different nature, or it has a different function of, like the mind is required, the intelligence is required, and then the soul is there. So this subtle body is also very important in one way, because these are the eight elements which are there, and these eight elements cover the soul. So these subtle bodies also required for the living entity to think. Like without the mind, what will happen? We cannot think properly. Then there is no point of having this gross body, very strong body. Or if the intelligence is not very strong, then the mind also, then there is no point of having the gross body. So subtle body has little more importance, than just having the gross body, because without the subtle body we cannot have the control over the gross body. So that is the function of the subtle body. Is that
And
okay?
yeah, is then ego? Does ego reside in subtle body or that
Yes,
is
yes.
gross body?
Ego resides in the subtle body. Subtle body is of three elements, that is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So these are like again the coverings towards the soul. So all these things are required for the functioning of the proper functioning of the body.
Okay. Thank
Mm.
you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Oh, so yes, yeah. Can give him the mic. No, small answer. Yeah.
How can we experience our
How can we
how can we experience our causal body, like
outer body?
causal body, causal, right? Yes, the Karan Sharir.
Sorry, I did not get.
The Karan Sharir, Prabhuji.
Subtle body,
Subtle is gross subtle,
gross,
and the
and
third one.
that is two bodies. We have two bodies, like gross and subtle body.
What about like the soul is
Yeah,
also?
the soul is there. The soul is
How
residing in
can
the
we
heart.
experience that?
We can experience that when we see. How can you experience that when we uh, uh, see it? You can experience how the soul is there when you come in touch with the soul. When you do spiritual activities, you are nurturing the soul. When you yourself can feel. Sometimes what is stopping you from doing wrong things. There is a noise which is telling from inside that you should not commit this thing. So that is Paramatma who is speaking directly to the soul. And then if you hear that thing, that is properly understanding that you are experiencing the soul actually. In one way, if you become very very pure in your heart, you can understand that your nature very easily. So our first thing is our heart is covered with, our subtle body is covered with lot of impurities. Like because the mind takes so many impurities. What impurities it takes? Whatever you see are stored in the mind. Like the software, anything you give, that is stored in the mind. So everything is getting stored, and at the time it keeps bringing that thing out. The nature of mind is also like that. That it always brings something distracting for you. It's always bringing something, like a child. He likes to play with one instrument, and immediately the mind gives, okay, this instrument you are done, you have got bored with this thing, okay, take this one and then play with this one, and now you're bored with this thing, play with other instruments. So that is the nature of the mind. And intelligence, the nature is that it will discriminate what is right and what is wrong. And ego, the nature is that it will identify, okay, this is my, this is mine, so that is there. But the soul, when our all these impurities are removed, then you can experience the nature of the soul. Nature of the soul means that you will experience joy while serving the Lord. That joy you can experience, that is, that way you can. And when you come in touch with the Supreme Lord through the sound vibration, that way you can experience the soul. Okay. Yes. One more last.
So
In the chanting.
Okay. And I can also have one beads. I had one beads. Okay. Last. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we'll chant. Now this is the time where we can touch the Supreme Lord very easily.